Nick Berrien, your resident road safety expert, back again for another Q&A. Thank you very much for sending in your questions. We love them and keep on sending them in more and more. And as I always say, I love my trusty little subscribe pillow. Hit the subscribe button that looks a bit like that down there. And please give us your love and support. Let's get us to 1,000 subscribers. All right. Into today's question. Now, I'm here at our Solutions Centre in front of our wonderful demo vehicle, the Holden Commodore demo vehicle, because what we've been asked is a question around vehicle certification and engineering. So as you guys know, our company is very famous for vehicle certification and engineering. Me, myself, and a few of our team are very high-level engineers and also unrestricted signatories that can sign off on modifications in vehicles all around Australia, because that's the system that we need here. And so the question that we have been asked is, what modifications in the disability industry require certification by an engineer or by the Transport Authority? Now, the answer to that question is not straightforward. I'm going to try and run you through a few scenarios in this vehicle that I've got behind me, just so you can get a bit of an idea. But what I always urge is for you to contact your road authority or contact the certifiers or contact us to confirm, does this product need certification? Because in some states have different rules that are specific to certain items for themselves, and some are not. So, and I'll explain, for example, how that works when we go through this particular vehicle. So in this vehicle, we've got 4 or 5 different products which are installed that affect the vehicle sort of production, I guess, and may affect the vehicle safety. So they will or will not require certification. So we'll run you through them. However, before I do that, the general thing to think about is, first of all, the vehicle must be certified and complied to a set of rules called the Australian Design Rules, and I'll put a link to them below here just so you can see what that's all about. That's the certification system of vehicles by the federal government in Canberra, and they certify the vehicle in conjunction with the company that makes it. So Holden, for example, certified this vehicle with Canberra, and then it's allowed to be registered, and it gets certified against a set of rules called Australian Design Rules. Now, if I modify the vehicle in a way that is going to change that original certification, then I need to get it recertified. That's basically how it works. So the original certification has got a whole bunch of Australian design rules. If I affect the design rules by my modification, generally speaking, I'll need to get it certified. In some cases, you won't affect the design rules, but you still need to get it certified. But that depends on the state and depends on the regulation. And that's where you need to check with your local certifiers or your authorities around that. So if you want to come closer to this vehicle, what I'll do is I'll show you a few different products we've got in here. In this particular area, what we've got is hand controls and spinner knobs and so on. So what I've got is I've got an accelerator gas ring, we've got a manual hand control there, and also a manual hand control on the other side over here. And the question is, do these need certification? So this particular hand control here, in New South Wales, yes it does, and in New South Wales all hand controls need certification, and in some other states they do as well. I think in Queensland they do as well. However, in Victoria, this would not need certification, and the reason why is because it's still allowing the original safety features, which is the brake and the accelerator, to work. However, New South Wales has got its own specific rules around this. That's this one here. But if you look closely at the one down the bottom there, the one down the bottom there has got a mounting bracket that's mounted to the floor, and that one is actually mounted to the seat structure here, right? So this seat structure went through an original testing and certification by Holden, and by you mounting something to that seat structure, you've effectively changed that original certification. So that needs to be certified because you've taken the seat, that's a safety related item, and you've shifted it in some way. You haven't done anything negative to it. In fact, if anything, you might have done something positive and reinforced it and made it stronger. But the fact that you've had to change what was originally certified is why you've got to get that certified. All right, so another thing which is an example is this roof box up here. So this is a wheelchair loading roof box, which I've got a video and I'll put a link below on how this particular item works. Does this need certification? No, it doesn't, because it just clips onto the normal roof racks, and there's many particular items that you can buy that just clip onto roof racks. The vehicle has been made with the purpose of carrying this load, things like this, and as long as you are following the load guides on your roof rack, then you can put something like this on top of it without certification. The only time you would need certification would be if you didn't use the standard roof racks and you had to drill holes in the vehicle, and basically the roof of the vehicle is a safety part of the structure, or is the structural part of the vehicle. So yes, because you've drilled holes in that, you need to certify that. All right, so that's how that would work. So if you want to come this way, what we'll do is we'll also show you another product that we've got. So this product here is a wheelchair lifter and loader. So this one here is, I'm not going to go through a full demonstration of how it works, but basically if you want to have a look here, I'll just move this over on the inside so you can see sort of how that lines up like so. So that would sit there, that goes down. And again, this particular lifter or loader is in the boot area. It's mounted to the floor, and basically there is no structural modifications to the vehicle. The roof of the vehicle is different, it's structural, but the floor in a lot of places is not. So basically you just bolt it to the floor and you do it as per the manufacturer's instructions. And in most states, you would not need to certify this because you're not affecting the original certification. And typically speaking, the original certification is mostly to do with crash safety and emissions. So you don't see any kind of crash safety devices out the back here, and so this is not going to affect that. So if we come in, I'll show you one last item, and this is the attorney low vehicle swivel seat. So this is the original seat that's been replaced with an aftermarket seat, but even if I used an original seat and put the tourney in there with the original seat, basically what you will see is this 100% needs to be certified, because what we've done is we've got new seat rails, we've got a new seat structure, we've got a whole new seat. So this is complete change to the original safety system of the vehicle. And I'll just move it back in so you can see what we're talking about. But basically what this particular device is a new seat anchorage, a new seat structure. So this entire thing definitely needs to be certified, because a seat is a crash safety system, right? So that's basically how that would work. Another one which, as we're talking about it, I can notice it in this vehicle, is if you look down the bottom here, you may or may not be able to see it closely, but there is some learner driver pedals there. So those learner driver pedals, they're just pedals there which we often see in our industry. They are for someone sitting next to someone who's learning, or even a caretaker or something like that would be sitting there, and they can hit the brakes in the event of an emergency. In New South Wales, that needs certification. In Queensland it does, in Victoria it doesn't. And again, the reason is because the original certification of the vehicle still works and is still able to be functioning. It would only need certification if you went and modified the original parts, right? But this just clips onto the original parts and moves the original parts using this particular device here. So hopefully that helps with a little bit of clarification. In general, if we are affecting the crash safety systems of the vehicle, we basically need to certify them. Overall, you want to check with your local certifiers, you want to check with mobility engineering, and you want to check with your transport officers and transport authorities on what needs to be certified and what doesn't. And hopefully that helps by doing this little run through. And yeah, thank you very much for sending your questions. As we always say, hit that subscribe button that's down there. We'd love to get your support to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we'll see you next time.